Hi, this is IK. Welcome to Promise, React Redux Thunk Promise. Promise is object for life cycle of asynchron process, asynchron fetch data object. What object? This is one. Here it is. This is object promise. Result of this is array from endpoint from this address. We will have array of post. Array of post. Member of that array is post. But that array, that object array, what we get here in this, concretely, it is declaration of object response equal weight, keyword weight, and this Axios library dot get method and endpoint address of mock server. In that mock server is array of, and in that array, members of that array is post. And result, if all would be okay with that connection, we will have object response equal that array. This part is object promise, and object promise always is include in asynchron work, asynchron fetch data, and that promise, object promise, there is a method 10, and with that method, if all would be okay, we will have method 10 and callback for response data, for give our application response data, give us that array. But if something get wrong, we have 10 method 10 of promise have method 10, and in that method parameter of method is callback function what give us error message, give application error message. In this application, I use asynchron fetch data like this, Axios.Bible library Axios.get, and mock, this mock server endpoint, this address of array. And if that promise, it is promise object, and that promise object, there is a .10 method, and this .10 there is for parameter, there is a callback function. That callback function, here is a arrow function, response is parameter of arrow function, response is data from endpoint, from it is concretely that array of post. And in body we have what we want, manipulation with that response data, and here we set immutable update sort data object 10. If all is okay, .10, it is .10. It means I can here have that dot. Look at, but it is not better go down. It means this will be array if it is okay, or result of this would be data, would be response, would be array if all would be okay. And 10 we manipulate in callback, we callback function method 10 of promise call back function would manipulate that response, or in immutable, it is a set post function, immutable update. But if would be something wrong, promise there is method catch and callback function inside. Parameter of call of promise of arrow function is error. It is a message of error, and in the body we have in console writing console error. And here is promise where we see method 10 and catch, two method, and it is in application without Redux, without Thunk. It is some example of with promise with use 10 and catch. Also, I must say that promise is always now in asynchron fetch data, but it is also example of declarative programming, because we use 10 method of object promise. In imperative, we will use if 10, if else, etc. And it is example. Same, all what I said here happen also in example with Redux Thunk. Here it is, Redux Thunk, here it is. But here we have a wait and a sync keyword. When we have a sync and a wait, that two keyword replace 10 and catch. And here is promise again. Where it is? Here it is. It is promise. It is object. It is array what we get from server. But result of this, it is library method get and address. It means that we want get data from server, from this endpoint. That it is array of post. We want get it, but and when we result of this will be post, will be data, will be object, will be array, and that object, that array is promise, object promise, and that promise here also have 10 and catch method, but they don't visible here. We don't need write that, because we have a sync keyword and a wait keyword. Here also we have a declaration of response, and that response will be a promise object, and declaration here equal await means async keyword means now begin asynchron work, and await, can be awaiting, can be delay, asynchron await. And this moment with asynchron await, but with asynchron, with this arrow start here, with the asynchron word we start a promise object, and that promise object always have event life cycle, 3 life cycle of asynchron process. It is pending when process start, it is event pending, and if would be all okay, we have event fulfill, and if would be some wrong, we have event reject, and if fulfilled, we have method 10. If reject, we have method catch error, method catch, Thunk catch, and it is promise. And here promise is asynchron process, but it is we want that asynchron process program and coding like synchron, and it is excellent example, because we have that async and await, and it is like some synchron coding, and we don't see 10 catch. It is example of declarative programming. So less and less we must coding, and more and more coding go in background coding for us. Less and less boilerplate means writing something always again and again and again, repeat in every application. Okay, it is promise, and around that promise is a level of normal level, in level with synchronized programming, but around promise we now have Thunk. Function Thunk encapsulate, take one level up. Thunk is one level up, and Thunk catch that event what produce promise, get that event pendant and fulfilled or reject, and of that event, it is event like click on button in a component of React. That event pending, fulfilled or reject, it event like click, like some like any event on the component in synchronize, it is event in asynchron, and Thunk take that event, concretely fetch post Thunk here, take it event and create action creator of that event. Create action creator, and that action creator, there is a name of fetch post. For example, it would be fetch post dot reject. fetch post dot fulfilled. Fetch post, it is name of this Thunk, and this is a three action creator. What create a Thunk like a higher level of promise, and it is possible to create with this function what we can create asynchronous Thunk, what we have from Redux toolkit imported, and like that Thunk create that action creator around that event. We also have on the component event is click on the button event, and around that event we create action creator, and that action creator, it is function what create action. Click on the button, create action, create payload action what have properties type of action, it is a string, and have properties of payload, it is content of field of form. That payload must be it is for immutable update of state. That payload must go to state, but only reducer can immutable update state, only reducer, and because of that this action creator, what if we want action creator must have reducer and create asynchronous Thunk is in connection with extraReducer. extraReducer is same as reducer, but it is about asynchron. It is in connection with Thunk, and extraReducer here it is add case. It is something connected with type, action type, and here is a reducer. We have here all what we have in action creator when we have only Redux without Thunk, and that object, action object, will have action type, and will have action type and payload. Here is only in parameter is only state without action, because pending there is no payload. It is only starting of process of promise. It is first life cycle in that asynchronous process, and there is only state, and in that state we have only this status immutable update in loading. Immutable update in loading. State.status equal loading. What state posts and is loading, and here also when fulfilled we have arrow function state and action. It is reducer, and that reducer will immutable update state status. Our state, there is three properties: post, status and error. Error nothing, and error is nothing, and here is how immutable update posts concat action payload would be concat. It would be concat and push. It is same. Concat is connect with existing state, but there is a library imer in background what will that mutate, directly mutate, convert in immutable update. It means that library will copy state, existing state. This is actual state. Copy that and connect payload with that copy and return this action, return a new state. And also we have a reject. Here is this is what would be construction of action type, but it is not strictly right syntax of type, action type, because action type is post slash fetch post slash rejected. There is no that dot, but we can write it like this, because it is enough, fetch post and reject. But all that reducer in slice, we now look at in slice, it is post as a slice, name is post. We don't need right in front of that post as, because on the slice or user slice, for example, can be fetch ali but not post, but users, and all slice would be named users. Okay, it is reducer. Without reducer, there is no immutable update of state. Without reducer. And here we have only fulfilled. How it is possible? It is possible, but it is work okay every time when it is fulfilled. But if we have rejected, if we have error, we will not see on the user interface, on the page, we will not see what is error. We will see that in Redux Toolkit developer section of browser, but we don't see what is error on the user interface. And because of that, we always must write all three life cycle in promise of asynchronous fetch data. You can experiment and change something in address. For example, write 2 and look at what happened in our application. And look at here, request failed with status 404. It is rejected. We see that here also rejected error, and request failed. We see that because we have this reducer what change add case. We have this add case fetch rejected. We have rejected, and this reducer and the change state and the immutable mutate Redux for immutable mutate state, and when we have a new state, we have new data in the user interface, new data on our pages. But without, if we delete it, failed, we have not message on the, here it is. Look at here. We have loading, because look at loading. We are in phase of pending because we didn't finish the process. What is finished? Finished process means immutable update state. It is finished with error or without error, with data or with error. And it is finished because our state is post slice. Our state is object post, it is array, status, and error. This moment we have rejected, but we have not reducer for that, extra reducer for that, and it is not finished asynchron operation. Not finished. Finished is when we have immutable update of our state. Here again. I will edit, undo. Here it is, and look at here. Now I have in this moment FP F5. I will start again. Okay, click here. Pardon. Okay, now we have a message. What I look at, we have message because I didn't remove wrong error in endpoint, in address. Let's go to move error in address. Move error in address. It is for a fetch. It is for not add new post, but for fetch. Here it is 1, and same moment we have all post, and we have look at here in Google browser payload. Look, fetch post fulfilled. Fetch post fulfilled. There is no reject expire, and only that fulfilled, and we have payload here. Payload and the type. Look at type post / fetch post fulfilled. We can write also this in quote. This post fetch post fulfilled here. Here instead of this. I can give quote around and write posts slash fetch posts slash pending, closed quote. But why? If I can write like this without quote, without posts, I write less. And it is possible, it is work, okay? I write like this. And here we because there is no quote, it is like fetch post object dot method pending, and it is like action creator. Action creator. We can call this action creator, and that is connection with to Thunk, with Thunk, this fetch Thunk, because create asynchron Thunk function with coming with the Redux toolkit. That create asynchron Thunk have a lot of works in background, and take care have connection with the extraReducer, and altogether extraReducer post slice complete and extraReducer with create asynchron Thunk create all that action creator, and action creator create object, action object. Action object, there is a type and there is a payload. There is a payload. Okay, topic of this video was a promise, but I talk all about extraReducer, and we must stay a long time in this programming. I recommend you that some application what we did before without Redux, that we convert in Redux, and in that application we use mock server, and that we have complete CRUD. In that application there is a complete CRUD, but from local variable, and now and initial state, but now we can that transform recording in the data on the mock server, and fetch them, add new post, delete post, update post, all that create by Thunk. Look at in this code, and coding all that. Also here code delete and update, like in you can help yourself with the application where we have asynchron work, but without Thunk. And like here, look at this is complete as before without Thunk, but now only we have this this part about Thunk. Anybody, anywhere, anything, we must stay, or you must stay long time, as possible long time in this matter, because programming, every programming, not only this one, is need time, need work, coding, and coding, of course. At first, understand what is it, but after that, coding and coding and coding. Without it, tomorrow, not tomorrow, 1 hour after you understand, you don't know code yourself, and tomorrow you don't remember nothing, because after understand, not coding, and sometimes later, very short time, we need that forget all understanding about that, and because of that we must stay longer time. I like drill with students in some coding. Repeat, same code. Here it is, we need understanding. But I learn English also by listening 5-10 sentences, one story from A.J. Hodge. I listen every day 2 hours, 1 month. It is a different kind of learning. But in language, brain is our element for automatically learning language, automatically, but must have time for automatically. Child have time, 1 year, 2 years, but we need time also. But if I listening every day 2 hours, 1 month, 2 months, five same sentence and same speaker, native speaker, A.J. Hodge, for example, my brain take it automatically, and I use word and thinking how I know that word, from what it coming that word, and it is the same with programming. Programming we must understand, like math. I like math in school, and always like math, but it is discussion that we don't need knowledge of math for. Okay, we don't need knowledge of, but we need mathematical logic for programming. But okay, not discuss about that. But I want to discuss of this as math. Also, programming we must understand. It is first step. What happened here? Declarative programming, all story get in background, and we see only three sentences of novel. How we can understand what happened? And must somebody talk to us that story? And we must understand programming, but it is not enough. Not enough understanding. Understanding is nothing without practice. Practice and practice. After understanding, get to practice. And when you start coding and compare and more get ahead, less and less you have an error, and that will our brain take automatically. It is also automatic process. We need repeating in everything what we learn. Need repeating, not that we be in that only excellent, but that we know that we know that work. If we stop repeating, if we make pause someday, we have problems, big problems. I don't know why it is like this, why our brain lose knowledge fast as that. But it is like that. Must repeat, same thing, same coding, same application. And this is about Thunk, React Redux Thunk. And this is one model of create coding from original documents, and I repeat it in repeat, and it would be excellent for me. I like now React Redux Thunk very long, but it is because I learn it, I understand it. And what I don't understand, I read, look at, and artificial intelligence is big thing. I ask artificial intelligence, and I state something. It is the best discussion is when I state something, and artificial said, yes, you are correct, or said, you are not correct. It is not like that. And it is for me excellent, because when I state something, I state very concretely. It is that and that. And artificial now respond on that concretely. But when I ask, it can be little defocused, and artificial give also defocused response. But when I say it is like this, this is this, and I said all concretely and deep, and artificial respond excellent respond. We talk a lot of about how it is possible that we write it is like it. It is not strictly action type, because action type is here. It is look at post, fetch post, pending with slash. What is but here? Here we have fetch post dot pending dot and without quota, and it is excellent work. And artificial, and I in some discussion before, when I ask what is the name of action creator, artificial said this and this. Today said it is not action creator, and in that discussion you must have a lot of experience with talk with artificial intelligence, because for artificial also, like for me, is very hard to be teacher in this in React Redux because there is confusion in naming. Look at it with naming, with syntax. Here is no quote. It is fetch post object here, dot pending. And because of that, must between me and artificial intelligence have a lot of discussion. Lot of discussion, because we go focus on something, and after some time of talking, artificial give me that I can write posts slash and slash and quote. Fetch post pending, all is okay, and all is work okay, without problem. But why that I type this, look at this post fetch, when I don't need, when I don't have to. Here it is, and I said that to artificial. It is more typing. But if I don't need, if I in original documentation see without quote and without post, because posts is known, posts is known here. Here is posts, and post slice configure, connect that word, and here connecting posts fetch posts pending. For example, fetch post pending, I have here. Look at, I have post fetch post. Here it is in quote, it is with that slash, but in original documentation I have without this, but this. What is situation that we will have user slice. This is post slice, but we will have a user slice, we will have comment slice, and that slice will named comments, and before of this would be comments, and instead of post would be fetch comments, and all that is would be fetch comments, and I don't need write here comments, because here instead post will be comments, will be users. Fetch users, fetch, but instead of post would be users, etc. And it means that fetch post name of Thunk and is enough to be different between slice. And like that we talk and artificial get confused, a lot of times said yes, sorry for misunderstanding, and when we get in that blocked street with a lot of yes, thank you for that information, sorry for missing, and what to do? What did artificial repeat same sentence, again repeat same sentence, and I again said, but you repeat same sentence, and etc. Okay, but artificial intelligence, my working place like teacher, is very advanced, very advanced. I enjoy to to talk with artificial, because it is artificial memorize a lot of content, but nothing understand. But memorize, and that memorize it is interesting for me. Or for example, here does it in post list? Yes. If you remember, here was if else if, and I said, copy that and said to artificial, code this in declarative programming, and in 1 second I have this, what you see. It is declarative. And also here it was if post status equal idle, dispatch, but now we have this one. It is declarative by end, not by column and not by column and question, but from end. It is very, very interesting. It means that complete this must be end. Post status equal if it is true. Post status equal idle. If it is true, it is 1. And dispatch start in that moment, it is 1. 1 end 1, result is 1. Result is 1. I can say something about post status here. Here is a state dot status. We said it is loading. We can write what we want here, and pending is event life cycles of asynchronous promise. When asynchronous process start, there is no payload, it is start, and we said that is a status loading because we will show on the user interface, we will show some animation of loading, and that loading get ahead until fulfilled or reject. And if it is fulfilled, we said here it is original documentation from about this topic. It is the best for learning, but very and for me is excellent, but I don't know how it would be for beginner, because very short option, one by one sentence, maybe 15 sentences, but that 15 sentences I must say you 100,000. Because but they have also links for beginner, and you have around, but it is not for beginner. It is more for people what coming from PHP or other programming environment like me, and there is experience in programming coming in that original documentation, and they right here succeed. And I ask artificial, why succeed, why not idle? Why idle? Because post slice begin with idle. It is a status when nothing happened. There is no asynchronous process. All asynchronous process finished, and we are in idle. And because of this, we are ready. Post list. Look at post list. We are ready. Post list. We are ready. It is conditions to be idle for new dispatch. We are ready for new dispatch, but we finished with succeed, and succeed. Now, when finished process of asynchron, our status is status post list in post slice. Status will be succeed, and it is blocked possibility of again start process of asynchron if we need this some reason. And we find in discussion, we find that if I write idle, and you can also write idle instead of succeed, you will have a lot of requests, have error, multiple requests, and the server cannot repeat. It is error and block. When I write here idle, and when I write here idle, it means that status is idle, and after fulfilled action, it is finished. It is immutable update with status is idle, and that produce multiple endless requests. Why? Here it is post list. Use effect hook is activate when post list finished rendering, and when in the end of that rendering we have this situation. Initial state is idle. It is first loading, first opening, first start application. Initial state is idle. There is a status idle, and it is okay. And use effect is can call this also, and dispatch our fetch post start. And start process, and it is and fetch post start asynchron processes. Dispatch method dispatch fetch post to store, but fetch post start asynchron process. And we have dependency. Here is post status dependency and dispatch, and post status is here interesting. It means when. Dependency means when post status change. Post status change, use effect again would be called. And succeed means changed, not idle but succeed. And after that, if after that succeed, start again, start again process use effect and all other inside and dispatch. But this condition don't this condition don't permit dispatch. Don't permit to happen dispatch of fetch post. This condition. But why we have multiple dispatch instead of don't permit this condition? Because we have our state is immutable update. It was idle, now is succeed in the end of the. Why we have updated multiple requests? We have multiple requests. Get back what I say. When I write idle, and we see when it is a succeed, there is no multiple, because succeed, but condition is for idle, and we don't have dispatch multiple. But if I write idle, here in post slice, here idle, look at loading. I have, or better see it here. Request failed with status 429. Error here. In error message request failed with status code. Error code, bad request, error, bad request. Okay, it is error in Axios, error, bad request, and it is means multiple. Yeah, here it is here. Too many requests. 429 means too many requests. This get Axios get request. Why it is? It is because in the end of process fulfilled, asynchronous process, and we have a immutable update state, and now our status is idle. It is condition for again start dispatch idle, and changes of pending, for example. Here is a pending. Pending is a status getting loading, and that pending, it is action creator. Action creator with reducer will immutable update state, and status will be loading, not idle but loading. And at first it is idle after finished or fulfilled, but after that, at first opening it is idle, initial state, but after dispatch finished with the idle, but we have loading, and that loading, it is change of over dependency of status, because use effect depend about status. Changing in loading activate again dispatch, and that pending loading idle, all all that together, we have multiple, endless requests, and because of that, here must be succeeded. That dependency, status, about status. Okay, this combination now work excellent, and we can experiment with other combination and find maybe some other combination that it would be okay. We have only in the beginning, only one time call use effect. It is first time when we loading all post, but after that it is other Thunk, like add a new user, add new post. We will see how work, how update in some of next video. Okay, for this video I think it is enough. Topic was promise. Promise is always when we talk about asynchronous work, asynchronous fetch data, but when we have Redux, we must have Thunk for asynchronous processes, and that promise would be encapsulated by Thunk. Thank you for watching this video.